There, we should be on. Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to more Norwegian news. Have you missed it? I know you have. The nation of Norway is high in everyone's priorities these days, I know. There's supposedly some kind of stuff going on in the US, but frankly, who even cares about silly little backward colonies like that, eh? No, not really. The wider conversation is more of an interesting one. De unge går bakover I tid. Unge gjør noe de aldri har gjort før. Now, that is granted a complete and utter lie at best, or simply ignorance. Oh, no, that would be the better part, I suppose, but... Anyways, I won't force you to learn Norwegian yet. We can actually translate it into English, as this is a nice way of opening up proceedings today. See, this has become an interesting little thing. For a very long time now, we've pointed out that any transformation that's going to happen is going to happen slowly, right? It's not going to be just like tomorrow and everybody is going to turn around. But what we've kind of also missed out on is the fact that a lot of people, as we saw in the video today with the language of the elites, a lot of people already reject left-wingism and wokeism, but only now have they actually been able to say so publicly without fear of reprisals. And this kind of demonstrates that, because this is not from England, of course, it's not from America. This is a Norwegian article, and Norway is about as progressive as you can get. We are like one of the most luxury belief nations on the world. Like, the fact that now young people in Norway are beginning to go backwards in time, which I also love, by the way. So, in case you're wondering here, the whole backwards in time thing, one of the crucial divides between the left and the right is that the left view history as a long march leftwards. They view history as a sliding scale where better means more left. It only ever means more left. And going backwards means going right. Right is universally back, left is universally forward. This is, of course, utterly and completely fucking nonsensical, as it eventually ends up in a anything my position does is good, anything your position does is bad sort of mentality. So you can look at like the French Revolution, for example, and go, no, that wasn't real left-wingism. Why? Oh, because they executed about 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people? We don't actually really know. We lost count after the first 14-odd thousand. But anyways, that was a right-wing movement, just like the Nazis, and etc., 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 etc. But this is a fairly common view on the left. Now, of course, we can bring up history here and point out that, no, that's not actually true. You even have right now, one of the cute things is the left has managed to convince people that sexuality translates into politics. If you're gay, you must be left-wing, right? But again, if you look through history, the Greeks, for example, or the Carthaginians, oh boy, the Carthaginians reveled in homosexuality, but also sacrificed children to Satan, so... left-wingism. You know what, actually, that sounds rather familiar with certain things that we've seen in today's world, but enough preamble. Now, for the first time, our attitudes are going in the opposite direction. This is revealed by a large and traditional Norwegian monitor survey, which has been carried out in this country for 40 years. Recently, the latest result became known. We see a shift towards more traditional values in the general population. When we break it down by age, we see that it is strongest amongst those under 35, says Erik Lie in Ipsos on the phone to me. The theory has been that the Western world is becoming increasingly equal and modern. It seems true down on the ground today. It's okay to hire a girlfriend of the same sex on the street in Norway. Excuse me? What now? I feel as if... Have we had a small translation, Irbm? Ah, there we go, yes. Hire a girlfriend of the same sex on the street. Well, we're not quite that progressive yet, but higher, layer, as in walk hand in hand. It's okay to walk hand in hand with a girlfriend of the same sex in the street. No, and no need to get married if you get pregnant. The generation gap has steadily narrowed since 1985. Well, it hasn't just narrowed. Women have superseded men now. Women earn more college degrees than men. Women are required to get into leadership positions without qualifications in Norway. You get into studies by simply being a woman in Norway. The gap has not narrowed. The gap closed about 24 years ago and has only widened since in the opposite direction. That the young people are talking about a U-turn is therefore quite startling. It is not at all, because again, that is not quite a caliphate yet. Norway has only gone back 7 years in time. We now have the values we had in 2017, and equality and such are still strong. See, here's the thing. It's a normal right-wing wave, isn't it? So the person in question here is very liberal. Astrid Mæland here has probably benefited quite heavily from the various programs that advantage her gender, considering her age and position in Norway's probably single largest newspaper, where she has a common editorial. The fact that she views history as a one-way street makes it very clear what her political opinions are. Right-wing bad, left-wing good, regardless of anything else that you might take into consideration. But that is not actually true, is it? See, here's the crucial divide. We look at the world. Young people today look at the world. And this isn't simply in Norway either. This also extends over in the US. It extends into England. It extends into Germany, where the government recently collapsed, like last week, over disagreements on how to deal with immigration. We are not simply all singing from the same hymn sheet here. We understand that there are problems that are inherent to left-wingism. This does not mean that equality has gone backwards, as the author of this article claims. Like, oh, well, we're suddenly in a caliphate. Suddenly it's not okay to be gay. Suddenly we have to crack down. Everything has to be extremist religiosity. And like that. No. None of this is true. None of this is true. We had hit a point of, in essence, perfect equilibrium in the 2000s or so. Like, literally, there are so many gay people today that basically say all we wanted was gay marriage. That was it. That was the last thing we needed to have actual equality. And everything since has been a step in the wrong direction. Now we have a society that is more oppressive towards men and boys than ever before. We still continue to advance women and girls over men, despite having not only closed but overridden the gaps in terms of both payment and rights. And not to mention in schooling now. I think there was, I saw one on Twitter today that said that in America there are 46% more college degrees earned by women than men. These are not equality. These are not equal measures. And there is also the wider problems of left-wingism that we can see in immigration, in rising crime rates, in the poorer economy, the very fact that the native populace of various countries, England being one of the biggest ones, is currently in practically outright revolt. Actually, let me see if I can, let's see if I can find you this one here. There was a funny article in England the other day about the inheritance tax. Let's see. Okay, so you may have heard about this here. So, farmers have been marching against an inheritance tax in England. So what this has been proposed to do is that farmers should have to pay a tax on their fields, on their ownership of the land. And this will in turn mean that, okay, let's say that you're an average young person today, right? But your family owns a farm. Okay, that farm obviously has been paid for back in the day. It's been bought at some point. You own the land. However, then your parents pass away. All right, then the taxman arrives, and the taxman says, okay, I believe that this land is worth £300,000. The government is going to want a slice, a taste of that. Tax at 20%. Okay, there you go, 20%. So they will go, okay, you owe us 20% of your land. And then the young person, who probably has only been working for, like, let's assume their parents were relatively young, right? So they've been working for, say, 30 years, right? They've gotten themselves a house, a car in this economy, and now they're asked, hey, you've got to purchase your parents' land. You've got to buy all of that. You've got to buy their house. You've got to buy their property. You've got to buy all of this at 20% rate. If you can't pay it, we are simply going to take it away from you. So that means that this young person needs to find, like, what is it, £60,000? $60,000 just there to pay a tax. Otherwise, the government will come and take your shit. Now, this is a common problem in many cases of people owning houses, where they have to sell their parents' houses to pay taxes. This has been a common problem in Norway, where basically once the parents pass on, there's no way to hold on to a house anymore because of the taxes you need to pay. You usually would have to sell these things simply just to pay the tax on it. This has pissed off a lot of people. Additionally, here's the extra, like, kick in the balls as well. The land that is to be seized because of this, as the government knows for damn sure that they will be seizing a lot of land, is intended to be handed out to new farmers. What do you think that means in 2024? What's the single fastest rising group of new people in England right now? Oh yeah. Immigrants. So what you're saying is that you are bringing in large populations of foreigners and giving them land that once belonged to the native populace. Wow, that's a rather clever idea. I think the Romans came up with something similar when they brought in their legions and settled veterans on conquered lands, so that you would have a loyal and often armed populace inheriting the land of the locals, controlling it, and forcing the locals essentially into a role of serfdom in their own nation.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Hey. If it worked for the Romans, I'm sure it will work for the Labour Party as well. And this is what's turning people off. Like, what do you mean you're going to take my stuff and give it to a foreigner? It is obviously, you understand intrinsically, automatically, that this is somehow wrong. You don't need to be explained why it's wrong. My father worked this field his entire life. You're going to take it and give it to Abdul? That's not right. Because it's not, of course. The left is not simply just an unending march towards progress. It is tyrannical. It is downright cruel and evil. I wish I could find this one article. There was this one article from, I believe, The Guardian, which basically said something along the lines of British farmers have been too well off for too long. It's time to subdivide the land and redistribute the land. Something absurd like that. Very, very British, definitely. I'm sure I had it somewhere. Oh well. Not good. Right. Let me read a couple of these super chats, and I'll get on with the rest of the waffling today. Byron Stargard. Hi, Arch. Did you see my third donation yesterday? I was hoping to knock the death score down on the notch with that 250 for Vladiana Milze. That's been their glorious human supremacy. I don't think I did. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, I will definitely add that in there. Wait, did I? Did I? I did not. I can't have. Yeah, I have definitely not. Okay. I must not have noticed that down at all. Thank you for reminding me. Let me see. Let me also add in that bonus to that. There we go. There we are. That does indeed move the death claw down a little bit. Again, I do think. Yes, it does. Oh, goody. The death claw will finally be defeated at long last. So, Lux and Doppelganger, hail Arch. Hail. Good day. Hello. Morning. Day? Morning? Afternoon? I don't know. Common Cross, would you be interested in making videos for learning Norwegian? No. It's a complicated language, I'm afraid. Boog, what pony will Trump nominate for his cabinet next? Derpy, I hope, because that's the reason why he's in office now. Dizwiz becomes a member, thank you very much. Tennille89, aka dislikes punts. What's the quote? Slowly at first and then suddenly all at once? Yes. Or something similar. I think it was said about finance, but it seems apt here. There's also the saying, there are years when nothing happen, and there are weeks when everything happen. Mark James, still stuck on the left coast on Washington, moved further prog. They, them are consolidating, not retreating. I don't think so. Now, they will consolidate in their own bubbles, of course. What you will in essence see is that the hardcore crazies will coalesce into their own little small unions, just like the right did. Essentially, you'll get an alt-left movement, which will probably do about as well as the alt-right one did. Going for Wall 85 has been a member for 21 months. Thank you very much, sir. All hail the Bridge God. And Bob, I remember watching The Button on that call where the youth parties debated young men's mental health, and the left's retort was always, yes, but what about women? No wonder people are tired of this bullshit. Absolutely. And even when the left tries to engage with the argument, what about men, it's usually like, oh, we should do something. Oh, that's like, okay, what? Oh, I don't know. Maybe extend the same privileges that women have to men. Maybe we should invest in men's health. Maybe we should have affirmative action for men. Oh, that's very sexist. Oh, is it now? I know, it's very sexist to do that sort of stuff. Slugs and Dobbsganger refuse to sell, refuse to pay, fight to the last. Belial, so the Dems appear to have decided to start World War III as a reprisal for losing the election. Okay. That one's going to be brought up again, isn't it? So let's address the elephant in the room before we return to our current
Heresy's
topic.
The question.
Shall
Fire
we?
is the
I
answer.
think Barky Bussy sent me this. There we go, Barky Bussy. Thank you, Barky Bussy. All right, so this was one of the things that happened last night, I think.
Fire is the answer.
Russia most likely fired a RS-26 Ruzeb ICBM against the Ukrainian city of Dnipro at 5 a.m. local time. The launch site was presumably Astrakhan. The warheads were non-nuclear. The action of this missile is 90 to 250 meters. 200 meters. The CPN for conventional strikes, absolutely inaccurate. Well, it depends on your definition of conventional, but though judging from this video, it seems more like a SEP of 500,000 meters. Even hitting an object as a football stadium is a gamble. Well, assuming you know what you're aiming for. But accuracy is not the point, terror is the point. Just like a terrorist with the suicide vest, Russia wants to deliver random violence. Okay, this guy's a retard. Never mind. So, we'll just address the general point here, rather than the idiocy. So, Russia, if we assume this is correct, and I don't even see how you could know at this moment, but let us assume that they fired an ICBM at Ukraine. Now, the RS-26... Wait, is that an ICBM? I thought that was an IRBM. Hold on. I need to remind myself right now. Because I'm pretty sure that's truck-mounted, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's an IRBM. Fucking goddamn amateurs. Fucking amateurs. I hate all of you. ICBM. I hate... Okay. When I become Emperor of the Earth, there will be a law instituted that means that if you don't have any real understanding of military matters, you cannot speak on them. You will simply just be shot. There you go. Like, most extreme solution we can come up with. Or tickled to death. Yeah, let's take it one step further. Anyways... So an IRBM is an intermediate-range ballistic missile. It is not the same as an ICBM, which is an intercontinental ballistic missile. So this is a part of the greater scare going on right now. Like, it's World War III, everyone's gonna nuke each other, oh my god, panic, panic! Click on my channel and subscribe. No, this is not going to be World War III, you tarts. Seriously.
Fire is the answer.
Listen. Everyone right now that has, like, the flashing lights in their Twitter thing is like, it's World War III, nuclear war. They're trying to milk you, okay? That's literally all they're trying to do. They are trying to milk you. Russia is not nuking anybody, for the simple reason that Russia can't survive the retaliatory strike. Fuck, Russia could not survive a retaliatory conventional strike. At the absolute most, if Russia was feeling really, really, really spicy, they might try at something like attack nuke. And even that would be ridiculous, and would probably end in the literal breaking up of the Russian nation, okay? Like, it would be pretty absurd. They could do it. That is as far as they were probably willing to go. Because, again, the consequences of doing this is devastating. It doesn't even need to be nuclear. Even if NATO right now decided to go like, okay, we're at war with Russia, Russia wouldn't last the weekend at this rate. Most of its army is already in a stalemate against Ukraine. Most of its army has been bled dry. Their access to high-technology weapon is basically gone. If the United States decide to start actually strat-bombing Russia, they could do it. See, Russia doesn't even have the capacity to strat-bomb Ukraine effectively because of its lack of SEAD, suppression of enemy air defenses. That's why they keep using cruise missiles launched from, like Bears, for example, or Tupolev 144s, because they can be launched at such a long range that the aircraft itself is not in danger. Whereas as the Americans demonstrated with, for example, Operation Desert Storm, it is more than capable of actually carrying out a large-scale aerial campaign that will completely destroy and or suppress enemy aerial defenses to the point where B-52s could be running shuttle traffic over Moscow. And Putin knows that very, very well. He cannot afford an escalation, because if he does, he's simply not going to exist anymore. Now, what they can do is what they've done here. So again, this is not an ICBM. This is lies, or simply just retardation. This is an IRBM. They do not have continental range. They're fairly long range, absolutely.
Fire is the answer.
I'm not going to guess at the range right now. But what it does is, it goes, hey, you there that's going to shoot at us with your long-range American missiles. We can shoot back, and it could have been a nuclear warhead. We could have put a nuclear bomb on that. It's a warning. Well, not even a warning, because there's no follow-up. It's an or else, hoping that Ukraine will go, oh God, okay, fine, we won't use the American missiles then. Jeez. It is a power play. Here's the thing. When you are in a conflict like this, escalation is inevitable eventually, but escalation is determined by the stronger party. The stronger party dictates what is and is not acceptable. For example, I brought up this example yesterday, but it's a good one. In World War II, the British really wanted to use gas. Oh God. Churchill had a little Churchill stiffy for the uses of gas, and he was planning to use gas if Germany invaded Britain. But as the alliance with America came into power, the Americans were like, no, you're not going to use gas, you crazy little Englishman, because the Germans have more and better gas. We are not going to use that. Meanwhile, Hitler, around Germany, of course, in case you're wondering, didn't want to use gas for personal reasons. He had a moral objection to gas, and thus it was not used. But the Allies would not use gas against Germany because they understood that what they would get back would probably be significantly worse than what they would give them in return. In the case of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Ukraine is still the underdog party here, and thus Russia basically sets the pace. Russia goes, okay, we're going to start bombing your cities now, and Ukraine is like, okay, I guess we just kind of have to accept that, but we're going to bomb a few of yours too, just on the border and stuff, and Russia goes like, fine, I guess we'll deal with it. But then Ukraine goes, but now we're going to escalate. We're going to start bombing deeper in your country, and Russia goes, I don't want you to do that. I'm going to try and discourage you from doing that. It's power politics at its most basic, and God, the fear-mongering.
Fire is the answer. Again,
here's the thing, too. It's like when the invasion began. I was saying, I'm 80% sure nothing is going to happen, when Russia was going like, oh, we're going to attack you. We're like, rah, 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 rah. We're big, we're strong, look at us, we're having military maneuvers. Arr! And then they shut up. And then I was like, okay, now it might be happening, 50-50. And then they did attack. So long as Russia is talking about, "Oh, we're at war now, everything is happening, rah," nothing's gonna happen. Now, if Russia hadn't said shit, and not nuclear, but American cruise missiles started landing in Moscow, then you should be worried. When the Kremlin stops threatening you, that's when you should be frightened. Anywho, I'm sure there's been thoughts about that, so I guess I'll prioritize State of Firewatch for $10. First, Ninua. Second, V was right when he said the UK would be better off under Chinese rule, unironically, because the Chinese would kick all the migrants and clean up the crime Brits censor already. That's probably true. Hiccups. But it would also mean that they would, all the natives would be forgiving their land anyway, to the Chinese, so I don't know if necessarily they'd be better off, but at least they'd be under a more honest ruler, I guess. Where was I? Oh no, YouTube, don't do your thing again. So let's no. Why are you hating? Norway going backwards. Viking raids returning when? If only we could go that far back. So on the lit, stop noticing, kneel to the altar of St. Floyd of fentanyl and pray for his forgiveness. Hashtag Dev goes moo. He does on occasion. Kill of the night, yay, more sand before bed. This against Deathclaw. See, people have started realizing that the Deathclaw is not a good thing. It's actually a relatively bad thing. Wait, Hayden, maybe they shouldn't have gone after men's hobbies. Why, YouTube, must you be so goddamn unstable these days? I hate you for that. Marked ashamed. Saw an odd ad on King County Metro, Seattle bus system, that showed purple-haired girl and read supporting no-hit wonders. So public funds are paying for songs that nobody likes, least it ain't games. Of course they are. There are lots of public propaganda, in essence. Brad Micken and flashing lights to the thumbnail. I know, right? As Alexei Nobelyan, can Trump just tell Putin to leave or he bombs Russia? He could. He's not going to because that would be a bluff, in essence. America doesn't want to invade Russia, Jesus Christ. If it can be avoided, America will wish to avoid it. But he can absolutely force a settlement between the two. Roblex 63, Desert Storm, when America wants your combat ineffective yesterday. Oh yes. And also Lacepig said his best with Russian logistics. No one there is forklift certified. Yep, that's also true. But yeah, no. This is largely nonsense. Now, there will probably be, if I was to guess, okay, let's go the most extreme scenario. The craziest Russia could get would be an effort to move the DMC that will probably be enforced upon both parties with a tactical nuclear strike, where they would simply dump, 3 or 4 or 5 devices along the current border and then rush forward as fast as they can to grab as much terrain as they possibly can. And if they get really, really lucky, maybe Ukrainian defenses will even collapse. But bear in mind, this will lead to a worldwide global boycott on Russia for the remainder of history. Like, Russia would be isolated to the point where they would essentially be sent back to the Stone Age. No computer parts, no technology, no payment system, no access to the internet or server hosting. Their entire society would probably collapse into a 1940s, 50s style system within a couple of decades. I very much so doubt they do it, because it probably got Putin assassinated too. Not to mention the threat, of course, of an actual conventional retaliation. But mass offensives will absolutely be launched by both sides, as both sides right now are trying to show muscles, so that in the future peace negotiations they can go, "We're actually winning, comrade, I want this, this, and this." Whereas the other side goes like, "No, we're winning, I want this, this, and this." It's basic negotiations tactics. I will look very silly if we start World War III over this, but hey, if we're all going to be dying in nuclear hellfire, being wrong on this point isn't really going to be bothering me that much in the long term. And so, John, have you seen Dev spurging as V on Twitter? V is pointing out that Dev is a sociopath, lopping as a progressive. How's he now? What will Norway do? Nothing, Conan the Barbarian, nothing. Literally, Norway's entire defensive strategy is wait until the Americans arrive. Like, legitimately, that is our operational strategy. If we get invaded by Russia, we're like, okay, fuck it. Let's hope the Americans get here soon. That's about it. That's about it. Although, considering how well the Ukrainians have done, we've got a lot better gear than them. We'd actually probably do fairly well against the remnants of the Russian army. Although we would be facing their elites, the actual Arctic-trained ones, but yeah. Anyways, returning to the dam-breaking idea here. So, we see here a share of young American men who say they identify with a select political ideology. Liberal, 22%. Conservative, 26%. Moderate, 48%. Now, moderate, in essence, simply just means they're along with whoever is currently in power. 25, 29-year-old, more liberals, fewer conservatives, and the same amount of moderates. It's rare for a group of Americans that are young to be more conservative than their immediate predecessors. 26% of men aged 18 to 24 said they identify as conservative, 5 points higher than 25 to 29-year-old men. And why is this? This is, of course, because of the economy. That's why. It really is actually that simple. The promises of liberalism are lovely. Peace, universal acceptance, everybody's happy-dappy, free cannabis, all of that stuff is good nonsense. However, when you're entering into the housing market today, and you're looking at a house that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're looking at your income and your student loan, for example, and you're realizing that you're going to have to place yourself in debt for the next 60 years to have any hope of owning a house, never mind a car and everything else that comes with it, you're going to be looking at politics and going, how can my parents afford all of this on, like, one income? How come my parents could get a house and a car and a family on just my dad's income? Meanwhile, here I am like, sheesh, even if there's two of us, we don't stand a chance in hell. Like, we've kind of arrived at the point where if you don't have a significant other, a partner to share half of the loan burden, you're never getting a house. And if you are, you're going to have to mortgage it to the pipe. I mean, you're going to have to take up a mortgage not for the next 10 or 20 or 30 years, but the next 40, 50. Unless you want to be paying so much of your income, of course, that you will never be able to be free of that mortgage. And that's just for a house. Then you have to take into consideration, putting things inside of the house. Washing machines, clothes dryers, electricity, your car, fuel, finding employment, keeping that employment, and then, of course, paying back whatever student loans you may have, which even then in America, like, student loans is not a big deal. I paid mine off within a year of finishing. It's fairly simple. And I had a fairly hefty one as well, because I need to live abroad. I've forgotten the English terminology, but not at home, basically. So, apartments and all of that, food and shelter, blah, 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 blah. When young people look at that, they kind of begin to understand, like, oh, wait, maybe our values aren't as good after all. If all of this nonsense means that I can't afford a house, what good is it? What benefit is it to me? Or how does this advantage me? It's like love and peace. Like, okay, but I mean, there's a war going in Ukraine right now. Iran is looking at us sideways. Israel's invading Palestine. The news is full of, like, genocide, white supremacy, panic, terror, nuclear war.
Heresy's the question.
Is it really that peaceful?
Is the answer.
Is it really that fine and fluffy a period? And they'll look back at the 2000s and go like, wow, that was the good old days. I want to return to Monkey. So it's not at all surprising. And again, we can see this across practically damn near everything right now. Gen Z is more conservative than many realize, but the Instagram-fluent generation will revolutionize the right. Now, this is partially true as well. So this one here is a little bit optimistic, shall we say, that this will somehow manage to change the right into a more of a progressive version of itself, which I don't think will happen, because the right was already quite progressive. See, this is another one of those key misunderstandings the left keeps having. The left believes that the right is nothing but absolute, sheer, unadulterated lunacy. That everyone on the right is an absolute maniac that simply wants to get you into the hood and make you a part of the Handmaid's Tale. No, the right today is mostly made up out of 2000s Democrats. Fuck you not. Look at Trump. The populist right-wing leader of our time is a 2000s Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard is a Republican now. Most of these people have no problem with gay marriage or equal rights or people not being racist. This is not what the right is right now. Right-wing has become the common sense party. That is all we need. A return to unironic normalcy. We just need to be normal, okay? That's all. We just gotta be normal. That is literally it. And now, excuse me, there is a sideway problem to this as well. As when the pendulum begins to swing, and it has already, as we can see, begun to swing quite a lot, even amongst traditionally Democrat voter bases. Young black voters are becoming more conservative than their parents. Here's why. So, black people have historically been a solid Democrat voter base, like 80% plus, right? And yet now, young black people are growing up in this age is looking around themselves and, again, looking at things like the economy, looking at the left going, everyone's racist against you, and they go like, I don't see it no more. I just want to live in a house. And they're growing more conservative. Everyone is growing more conservatives because of the absolutely obvious failures of the left. The decrease in living standards, the fact that it's more difficult to get a job, the fact that it is in turn, of course, is more difficult to get a home, and so on. And there are so many articles talking about this phenomenon right now, so many, as everyone is beginning to notice it. And it began to really hit, of course, with, well, things like this. Dragon Age of Elgard, that friend that's too woke. I did a video on this. The Gamer is a very, 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 very progressive outlet. And yet, it too is looking at it and going, this is no longer financially viable. This is no longer earning money. This is no longer profitable. It is no longer successful. We have tried to make it so with every power in our being. We have attempted to social engineer society to force this idea upon you. It has failed. Now we kind of need to start looking for an out. Now the rats aboard the sinking ship realize that they've kind of got to try and find some way to get onto the other movement again. And what a lot of them are going to do is present themselves in essence as moderates, because there is, of course, a danger to the swing here, and one of those dangers to the swing is that the right wing might get a little bit too retarded as well. So we'll listen to this interesting little clip here, which I think you'll find quite enjoyable in a way.
No birth control, nothing, because I'm not going to have gay sex. And, like, gay sex is more than just, like, another man and a man. It's just, like, the idea of looking at sex as such a materialistic thing and just, like, oh, well, like, we just have an orgasm and that's fun or whatever. No, like, dude, sex is about having children. It's about having babies. Like, you pump yourself full of birth control and then you have sex with your wife, and, like, there's no purpose there except just pleasure. That's the only purpose.
Should people
pleasure.
who are born like infertile have sex?
It depends. Listen, I am pro, like, people committing to celibacy for the rest of their life. I am pro, like, that. And if that was something that they couldn't have babies, I believe that they should have that choice there.
Well, they have the choice.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, is that what you believe is correct? Infertile people, no sex for you.
I think that it's crazy. Infertile people don't think. I don't see anybody really saying that, hey, I'm infertile, so I'm going to be celibate for the rest of my life. I'm not going to touch sex. I'm not going to have sex.
I think it's
Heresy's
crazy
the
people don't
question.
say that.
Fire is the answer.
And so, I reiterate my previous position. Just be normal. That's all we need to do right now. Like, listen, the left has in all due essentiality been defeated. Do they need to be fully routed from the field? Yes. Do we let up right now? God, no. Do we need to have a long and complicated discussion about forgiveness? Holy shit, yes. Because here's the thing. It is very difficult to figure out how exactly to square this circle right now, because we don't want to be the left, where you're like, you spoke out against my doctrine, you are banned forever, filth. Because now we're only going to make ourselves enemies for life, aren't we? But at the same time, we can't look at the people who ruined everything, who ruined entertainment, who ruined our society, who brought racism back and go, oh, everything is forgiven. Ha 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 ha. Of course not. We need to be able to, in essence, exclude the portions of the left
Heresy's
that
the
were
question.
so
Fire is the
obviously
answer.
damaging to our society. Like, anyone who's engaged in cancel culture, for example, gone. Simply gone. You should never be listened to ever again at any point whatsoever, because you started this evil cycle. You were the one who began taking away people's livelihoods. You should not have one. Fuck you. Simple as. But there are also people who believed genuinely in the messages of the left, who argued from it from a genuinely good faith perspective, and who have now begun to realize, holy shit, I've been lied to. Those are obviously different people. And then, of course, you've got the people who were simply working in entertainment at the time. Should we judge the man who drew the LGBT swastika over the Star Wars logo the same as the guy who ordered it to be done? It is a difficult conversation, as now we're getting into degrees of guilt, aren't we? Like the one-drop rule, in essence. It is a very complicated subject, and I haven't even begun to fully unpack all of that nonsense, honestly. But you've got people like this on the right. You've got like, yeah, no, if you have sex without the intent of making babies, that's gay sex. Like, you goddamn. Dev. That's going to be my common terminology for these people. Devs, all of them, devs. This is a dev, everyone else who says it is a dev, okay? Because it's the, I believe I'm correct, therefore optics matters for naught. No, dev, no! That's not how that works. There is absolutely an argument made as well for the whole forgiveness thing that might also exclude people like this. And in fact, we probably will have to do that as well. The left wing grew as radically ridiculous as it did, in part because what they perceived to be the oppression of the right wing. Like, let's see. Ah, yes, the good old nonsense. There we go. Oh, that's an even better one, actually. If it loads. There we go. Dungeons and Dragons, just harmless fun. Oh, sorcery. No, just harmless fun. Well, until it was conquered by the left, at least. The old Satanic Panic was absolutely a thing. It was, in essence, right-wing cancel culture as well. But it was impotent. It didn't have the social media machinery that it does today. It had the media on its side, and the media did its level best to back it up, because the media has always and will always be evil. But we do need to prevent this too. Because the left then looked at this and goes like, I am being victimized by the right. And then they made arguments like, okay, we should do this and this. And the moderates in the middle, which still make up the majority, were like, okay, that sounds fair. Let's do that. And then they go, yeah, but now we're in power. We're going to crush our opposition. And they radicalized further and farther than anyone could have imagined. and the right is set to do the same thing. That too should and would preferably be avoided. Like, gay, it's just gay sex. Like, if you're celibate, you should probably, if you're infertile, you should probably be celibate. Just, dude, we don't have to go crazy over this shit. We can simply just be normal. We can actually just be normal. That is an option that we should consider. Right. Let me come on with this. Sujad, have you seen devs merge against you on Twitter? LSBL Anime Guy. Europeans laughed at us for having a big military budget, yet get pissy when we don't support Ukraine because they forgot to make their own stuff. Wow. Oh no, that's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Europe got way too complacent. We got way too used to relying solely on America for our protection. We shouldn't have, and hopefully Trump will be able to scare the NATO leaders back into line with that, because it's absolute nonsense. Like, we are being asked to pay 2% of our GDP. We should do so. It is our responsibility. Well, you hating. After Ukraine got away with invading Kursk, it proved Russia's threats of nuking Europe are nothing but a limp noodle. Yes, it did. Slox and Doppelganger. Eventually, people who cannot afford will take. That is true. Space Wolf Blackmane. The war might be defeated today, but there are like any other cancer. They adapt, find a new hiding tactic, or just wait for everyone to forget and attack. And I want to point out, one of those hiding tactics might be putting on a red hat. Okay? See, there was an interesting study. Can I find it? I don't remember the title. Yeah, I need to actually dig it up somewhere. But there was a study, and this was years ago, that basically looked at the extremist parties. And usually, the people who were doing bad things on one side of the aisle would actually transition over to do bad things on the other side of the aisle when their ideology began to lose. This is not so much a political thing as it is a personality thing. There are people out there who simply believe so stridently that they are willing to just veto Cheeto anyone who disagree. This is a psychological thing, and this exists regardless of one's political persuasion, which is why you might very well have people with a word on the left, simply because it is what had power, now look at the right and go, yeah, I could do that.
Guarantees citizenship.
I could definitely do that. And then simply move on over. And then simply argue that they saw the light and so on, which is another problem with our whole forgiveness conversation, isn't it? As a bully, will probably remain a bully, regardless of whether he's wearing a red or a blue hat. Boog, that guy is super closeted, as gay as death. Maybe. To Neil89, naked dislike punts. I live in LA land and had to interact with high school kids the other day at work. They all used woke as a pejorative. I think that speaks for itself. Oh, absolutely. Yes, no. Woke has become a negative term. Then it's goddamn scroll. Oh, my back's hurting. Excuse me. Pillow for Arch's back.
The question.
Pillow for Arch's
Fire
old.
is the answer.
No, yes. Woke has become a pejorative. It's a curse word now. It's something negative. It is cringe to be woke. When something is declared woke, it too is cringe. The massive Bud Light boycott was one of the biggest examples of this, where it was the first proper right-wing grassroots uprising, in essence, where we managed to make something not cool.
Service guarantees
and that is how you win the culture war, by making things not cool. When you make them into something that people will be ashamed of doing or engaging with, well, that's how you ruin that thing. That's how you ruin that brand. That is what the left used against the right for so very long. The threat of making the right not cool, not acceptable, as unhousebroken. Scott the Celt has been a member for 22 months. Thank you very much. In regards to the backswing of the pendulum, we need to be vigilant for those that will try to bring up another version of the COVID amnesty question. Yes, there is also, the little red bridgeism of Dev is just as big of a problem as the fonts on the right as well. If you start forgiving the bullies, then, well, they got away with it, didn't they? Like, of course. Like, if Anita Sarkeesian in 4 more years go like, oh, I'm so sorry, I was so wrong, can I be friends with you now? The answer needs to be no. No, fuck you. Space Wolf Blackmane, look at the government of Europe, for example. Their 2030 plans are the most 1984 nonsense I've ever heard, especially with the Nudge Orge and Deathclaw. God damn it, more Deathclaw. And, that was also one of the reasons why the backlash was as big as it was, because the plans became public. It was the entire, like, you have the thing where, what was it here? Let me see.
Service guarantees citizenship.
There we are. I can't bring that one up because YouTube would slap me for it. There we are. Right, so on the one hand, you have the following. The Great Reset conspiracy flourishes amid continued pandemic, with, amusingly enough, a screenshot from the World Economic Forum, of course. And the fact that the World Economic Forum have talked about it in public. It's still on their goddamn website today. Like, we still have it on their website. We still have the evidence bright and early, available for anyone who wishes to see it. We've even now finally amended the Wikipedia. This used to say the Great Reset as a conspiracy theory. Is an economic recovery plan drawn up by the World Economic Forum in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The program was launched in 2020, and a video featuring then Prince of Wales Charles was released to mark its launch. The initiative stated is aimed to facilitate rebuilding from the global COVID-19 crisis in a way that prioritizes sustainable development. And they, in essence, said as much. Where they're like, oh, this is a great opportunity to simply destroy society and rebuild it in our image. They pushed it too openly, too...
Heresy is the question. Fire
too
is the answer.
unsubtly. And people were looking at that and going, wait, eat the bugs, live in the pods isn't a meme? Nope. It's on the EU website? Yup. And a lot of people then started looking around thinking to themselves, but I don't want to eat the bugs, sir. I don't want to live in the pod. Why is this my future? I don't want this. I'm going to vote for the other guy. Good. Oh,
Service
God,
guarantees citizenship.
Lazy Viking, if that guy sleeps with his wife and she doesn't end up pregnant, will that make him gay? Or will he accuse his wife of being gay? Both. Well, he did say
Heresy's
with
the
the
question.
aim of.
Fire is the answer.
So, in essence, so long as you're having sex whilst going, plap, 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 get pregnant, get pregnant, it's straight. But you gotta say it, otherwise it is gay. Otherwise it is gay. Oh, you hating. Australia looking to ban social media for under 16s. And you know what? God, here's the problem. This is actually a thing. Let's see. I think we've got one in Norway. We've got one in England going forth, I think, as well. Yep, you've got one in America going on. I think this is from last year, 2023. But basically, there are a lot of movements. Wait, that's not the correct window. That's the correct window. Jesus Christ, got too many things up now. But yes, there are a lot of countries that are currently trying to figure out some way to ban, children? Are you a child at 16? I guess you kind of are. 18, I guess, would be the age of social media consent, I suppose, from using social media. And part of me fucking agrees. Part of me really goddamn agrees, because social media can be corrosive as shit. It can be really bad for you, particularly as a young person. Like, as kids, when I was growing up, if you got bullied at school, for example, then that would suck. But once you were done with school, you were done with it. You were done. You didn't have to see that person again for the rest of the day. You had a break, right? Or you could simply go hang out with friends. Like, there were ways to avoid the bullying. But in the always online society, where every kid has a social media account, every kid has a cell phone, maybe you're tied up to a school network where everyone knows your handle, etc., there is no escape from any of this. Now, the benefit would, of course, be to hope that the children are dumb enough to bully each other, obviously, so the teachers can actually move in and shoot the little bastards. Not quite that strident, but you get my general drift. But there's also the problem that schools have, throughout as long as there's been schools, had a real hard time actually dealing with bullying effectively as well. This can absolutely damage kids. Oh god, it can. Imagine if, as a 13-year-old cringy little shit, you do something particularly dumb, it gets videotaped, and it's got spread across the entirety of the internet. Yeah, that's the moment where you really start looking at News Chan and the promise of an isekai with hope. There are real and serious dangers about social media for young people, but making the government ban this is a huge problem, because how is the government going to enforce this exactly? Alright, they're going to need your registration. They're going to need you to log onto the internet with your personal security number, or a thumbprint or something, or some sort of social security system. They're going to need to be able to identify you, and that means they're going to be able to track your ass whenever and however much they want. That is the problem. I want this in theory, but I don't want it I don't want the government to have it. This should simply be something that is like, rather than banning it, it should be a,
Heresy's the
how do you
question.
call it?
Fire is the answer.
Not like a public service announcement, but like a news blast, basically, where the government puts out like a binder and goes like, these are the dangers of social media, beware, your children could be exposed to this, this, and this, you gotta keep an eye on them, you should probably monitor their social media behavior, make sure that you know your kids' login so that you can log in and see their messages, stuff like that, because fuck the kids' privacy. I don't give a fuck about a 13-year-old's privacy for their parents. I don't give a shit. Irrelevant. Utterly irrelevant. And make sure that they are safe online. That should be the parents' responsibility, not the fucking government. Anywho. Where was I? Scarf the Strange. Truth without hope will never set you free. True that. Joey Fangaz. The hardcore evangelicals and woke folks seem to hold the same ground as each major party's cringe now. Rights take common sense through right now. Yes, just stay normal. That's all. Just remain normal. That's all we need. Zero, don't mind me as I have gay sex with my wife. Excuse me, I'm gonna go have homosexual intercourse with my woman. I fucking love that. I love that. It's like, you can't put on a condom, dear. Why? I'm not gay. It's... God, it reminds me of those cringy consent cards. Like back in 2014-16, where there would be like these forms you had to fill out before sex, where the woman would be like, hold on a second. Fill this out in triplicates. Thank you very much. I need to document consent here. Scarf is Strange. I would love to see an occult spellbook disguised as a tabletop RPG. That'd be funny. I would play that. The deal's on text at this point. If the US proves itself unreliable, Europe will rearm itself hard. It's already started. Forget about China. At the point, the US undisputed global hegemony is on a clock. Maya. Oh, the Europe is already rearming itself massively because it's understood that, well, it might need to, defend itself at some point. Who knows? Perhaps. Done to go. Give this to the Anti-Deathclaw Fund, of course. Everything for the Anti-Deathclaw Fund. It's very important, and we try to get rid of that goddamn thing. Jonathan Smith. Keep up with the live news, more super chats. Also, the Slippery Slope reaction
Heresy's
streams.
the
First to the
question.
news, then
Fire
videos.
is the answer.
Gateway has started. Yes, give in. The hot takes. I don't think I'll ever be a hot take, shall. But I'm kind of doing these as warm-ups for me and Sargon's weekly show, which we are planning to launch next year. We were probably going to do a weekly show on Thursdays, just talking about current events and watching dumbass YouTube videos, basically. And we'll bring along a few guests as well, because Sargon has a nice and broad face, so he can get us all kinds of cool people like Count Dankula, Nerdrotic, all kinds of really awesome dudes that might not take my phone calls, but we'll probably pick up for old Sargaruni Pooney. Cinders, giving money
Heresy's
because
the
no
question.
dev. Stick.
Fire is
Also,
the answer.
Lumi for calendar. See, Stick don't work on me. Stick makes me double down. Unironically. I have that kind of just counter. What was it? Argumentative? No. Truss is the Norwegian word. Oh. Bill Skirner, 3124. I disagree about European defense, Arch. We, America, should keep letting it slide to keep control of Europe, NATO as a whole. If you're a vassal state, then we have more control over them. Simple as. Don't worry, we're already a vassal state. You don't really need to do anything. Scarf of the Strange, leave it to Bud to make America sober again. Ooh. Hexy, communism is cringe and gay. It's that easy to beat. Yes, in large part. But it is also insidious, mind you.
Heresy's the question.
Send
Fire
it for
is the
$20. Thank you very
answer.
much, sir. Got nothing to really add to the conversation because I'm at best a silent observer due to my crappy social skills. Hope things improve. Also, Deathclaw, cause she will stay. I hate you very, very much. There we are. Brandon, stuff like, this is why I'm a libertarian. Conservatives,
Service
like progressives, use the state
citizenship.
thinking they will never lose control, but they just make the tools that will be used against them. That is a danger. The Luxon Doppelganger, I was bullied as a kid badly. As a result, I have burning hate for them and tend to
Heresy's the
sympathize
question.
with mass
Fire is the
shooters.
answer.
I mean, can sympathize? See, again, my aggressive personality always meant that I couldn't be bullied too much because whenever I was actually bullied, I was the kid who
Heresy's
would bite
the
you,
question.
okay?
Fire is
I was
the
the kid who
answer.
would kick and punch and pull your hair and do whatever it was fucking required. That was always me. And this is how we should teach our kids. It's like, mommy, the bigger kid, he took my lunch money. Okay, child. Did you bite his arm? What? No. Do it. Come here, kid. This is the solar plexus. Next time, just, and there you go. Simple as. Teach your children to fight, chat. It will solve a lot of problems. Dizzlewiz, so Arch plus Song on weekly stream start when? And please don't serve Canadian mashed potato in it. I have a Sunday for that. Mean. Caleb Knight, counter idea. For every child found online, the town gets to sue the shit out of the company slacking. I am a product of the internet. I agree with it. Mean. Yeah. No, tell a tech machine in chat. Exactly. You don't have to win. You just have to hurt him. Correct. Because here's the thing. A lot of the time, bullying is about social status. It is one kid attempting to reinforce his social status at the expense of yours. Okay, basic power politics. But if you make it a liability to go after you, the bully will find another kid to pick on. That's how it works. That's how it always has works. Is how it always will work. Subiflu, for Arch, we used to have internet safety courses that taught people to not put identifiable information as well as how to properly utilize search engines. Yes, correct. And we do need to get back to that. That needs to be one of the focuses of schools. Schools should be teaching children how to be safe on the internet, and it should scare the shit out of them as well. It should be like, listen, Child, if you leak so much as 3 digits of your fucking phone number, Mr. Pedophile here is gonna come to your house and arrest you. Oh, well, arrest is probably not the correct term, but you get the general drift, okay? You gotta convince that little shit that if he leaks so much as a forename, he's gonna be...
Service guarantees
Let's not
citizenship.
go there on YouTube just yet. But yeah, you get the idea. Fear is the best salve against virtually all problems. Can have night this and last one against the big Deathclaw. Good. Less Deathclaw. We need to knock her down a few more pegs. Hexy, stream has 600 more viewers with no dev, just saying. Well, it's because I am far more of a magnetic personality than dev. Lum is really dragging me down, I think that's the problem. Yeah, Lum is doing me damage. I gotta fire Lum. Zero, I'm late, so you might have mentioned it, but ICBM? Irbm, you little shit. You just landed yourself on the death list.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Zero Firewater. Well, if Russia has more nukes than America, there will not be a conventional war, since the whole goal of Ukraine war from NATO is to break up Russia and China into smaller countries and rule the ashes. Oh, I don't
Service
think about that.
guarantees
I don't think
citizenship.
NATO has that kind of grand ambitions, honestly. And the West is explicitly anti-nationalist, while starting wars that require nationalism to be fought for the most part is way more prevalent in the UK, US Muslim countries like France. Also, they won't allow people to go back to normal since it breaks the gaslight on the wider scale. The Ask's confirmed experiment is mostly true as long as you have the iron-fisted grip on the gas. Okay. The West is not anti-nationalism. It is just too liberalist. That's the thing. If you ever ask one of the left, like Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, why should we oppose Russia? His answer will always be because they're infringing upon liberal democracy. That's what it will always boil down to, because they are not liberal. The same reason we didn't help Rhodesia, because they weren't liberal. That is the thing. Russia is evil because it is not liberal. The rules of nations, you have no right to defend yourself. Why? Because you're not a liberal nation. And they'll dress it up, but that is the answer. For these people, liberalism is God, as humanity will always seek a God, and if they can't find one in the Bible or in a holy book, they'll invent one. And that is what liberalism has become to them.
Heresy is the question.
Agree. If we
Fire
are talking
is
about
the answer.
rearming, Poland is doing it at the greatest rate. We already have most of the good stuff working and are predicted as a future main source of tanks, artillery, and some systems for Europe. Also, when Witcher start?
Heresy is
November?
the question.
Are we in
Fire is the
November right
answer.
now? I don't even know. December? Maybe December. We'll see. It's not too far off. I've got the thumbnail ordered, so it is in the works and all that. Right, let's also return to the actual point for a second here as well, once I managed to find what window I was using to show it all in. Oh, yes, this. I thought that was funny. Breaking. Internet stunned after an attractive biological female human of healthy weight wins Miss Universe pageant. I just think that was pretty funny. Because... it's kind of true, isn't it? It is unironically kind of true. It's like, wait, Miss Universe is a blonde Danish woman? What reality are we living in now? She doesn't even have a penis? What is wrong? It's kind of true. Again, that's what I mean with the dam is breaking. We're beginning to look at, hot white women again and going like, yeah, that's pretty sexy. What a rare and pleasant surprise, I guess. And this is also very common. We can see this again in wider stuff, right? So the nomination of
Service
Black
guarantees
Myth
citizenship.
Wukong to the Game Awards, I think, was rather interesting. Now, it's a minor thing, of course. It's just Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards. That's all it is. It's a little bit nonsense. But Black Myth Wukong was only nominated because of the political and cultural waves it made. It wasn't nominated because it's a particularly great video game. It isn't. It's competent, definitely. It's a good game. It's fun to play. But it's nothing incredible. You know, it's not something that in 2000 would have been considered a standout game, but today, probably good enough. But it was nominated first and foremost because of the political call-out. Like, if you don't do this, we will recognize you as the enemy. It will be a PR disaster for you. Like when they didn't nominate Hogwarts Legacy, for example. That was a PR disaster. And hey, the Game Awards has at least learned one lesson there. And, amusingly enough as well, there was one big snub at the Game Awards nomination. Dragon Age the Veilguard, a game engineered to succeed at the Game Awards, did not correct. Before the announcement, everyone thought that 1, Black Myth Wukong would be ignored, and 2, Dragon Age Veilguard would sweep it all. Best music, best story, best characters, best voice acting, best video game ever, because it was an explicitly left-wing game. But again, the warning note was loud and clear. Don't do this. If you do, you will alienate the majority. And they listened. You know, I'm starting to wonder, Jeff Keighley, what's his religious persuasion? Because, I don't know, I feel as this is one of those rats swimming for the nearby ship again. And, speaking about rats swimming for nearby ships, Cenk Uygur, the noble bison himself. I just want you to let this sink in for a moment here, chat, okay? I want to let this sink in a little bit. When I'm talking about the need for talking about forgiveness and who exactly we're going to let back on board and who we're going to shut the door in the face of, right? Cenk Uygur. When I became a Democrat, it was the more tolerant party. Republicans were run by religious nutjobs and by corporate robots. Now, the Democrats are in a lot of ways the less tolerant party. The least tolerant party is actually the establishment wing of the party that says anyone opposing their anointed leaders is committing heresy. If you try to give constructive criticism of the party to improve it, they drive you from the party while screaming, "He's not a real Democrat." They hate populists. They have become the corporate robots. I couldn't stand. They hate their base. They insult our intelligence by pretending that the donors are not in charge. They think we should be controlled and learn how to follow orders. And they have no idea how elitist they sound. Predictably, that unironic reaction to this post will be heretic. There you go. So, that is the noble bison himself, Cenk Uygur, saying that the Democrats are now the less tolerant party. The mental image of a bison steadily paddling its happy little fat body across a stream should be emerging foremost in all of your consciousnesses right now. Paddle, paddle, paddle. Actually, you know, hold on. Google. Swimming bison. There we go. We go now live to the Young Turk studio to behold his glory in full. There we are. And this is, of course, a political ideologue. Like Cenk Uygur's background, the Young Turks' background for their election coverage in 2024 was the Capitol building on fire. Okay? Oh. Not a moderate, not a moderate individual at all, shall we say. Rather radical, rather drastic. When even he starts looking at things and going, yeah, time to switch teams. You need to start locking the doors. You really need to start locking doors and bolting them, and probably hammering them shut as well. But it is obviously a sign of the malaise on the left. It is the left losing even its most fanatical firebrands, going, shit, I can't make enough hay on the left anymore. I've got to start leaving the left, in essence. And he's probably been at least partially inspired by Anna Kasparian, who was, of course, as we all know, we've covered in the ArchCast a while ago, culturally enriched by her unhoused neighbors as they decided to start touching her on the streets. And when she was like, this is not okay, the left went, Anna, shut up. You're a woman of privilege.
Heresy's the question.
Let the
Fire is the
unhoused
answer.
touch you. The world is a funny, funny place, is it not? And as a final little kick in the balls as well, it's just not economically possible to do this. Unknown number 9 awakening reports layoff. So Unknown number 9 was one of the games that Sweet Baby Inc. aided with after it was revealed that they were, bad people by and large. And it became an enormous economic flop, a huge one. I'm looking for, I think there was a whole thing about this. God damn, what was it? It became not just a flop, it never even got off the ground, in essence. And this is despite the fact this was supposed to be a full franchise thing for them. Oh, God, yeah, this too. This too. The grandfather of wokeism
Fire
also
is
was
the
thrown
answer.
out on his ear. Stop that, YouTube. When was it? God damn it, I can't find it now. But there was a whole plan to try and turn Unknown number 9 into a fully... Ooh. That's terrible. Not relevant, but that is terrible. Into a whole franchise. I'm trying to find the damn thing now, but I can't... There we go. Right, there we go. So, Unknown number 9. Upcoming releases. Comic book series, novel trilogy, web series, scripted podcast, all of this stuff, video game. Because Unknown number 9 is based on I believe a book series, and they thought they could grow this into a franchise. That now that I got a video game, wow, people will finally realize just how cool we are. We'll be able to have all of this cool stuff now made now. Wowzers, bowsers. Not quite so much. And hey, maybe something could have happened to it if it had actually worked out, if it had actually been good, but it wasn't. Oh, and $50. Thank you very much from Mishai Sama. I did wonder how the long-term lessons development that will come from the Ukraine war should full spectrum supremacy not occur in conflicts like the US in Iraq. Also, Mystery Mayor will not be forgotten on the calendar. I shall add that to our dear Mayor. She is best grill, and that is simply just the truth. Thank you very much for your generous donation. I think full spectrum domination will still be the goal of all parties involved. That will still be the intent, and the US will probably be able to achieve it. But Russia's not a full spectrum domination nation. Probably most other nations need to realize that they're not as good as the US. Honestly, no shit. Let me see if I can find that thing. Is it this one? Is it this one? Let me see. Nah, it's not this one.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
There was this animation that showed Desert Storm. Yeah, I can't find it now. Suffice to say, it's impressive. It's very impressive. There are so many aircraft all over the place just bombing the literal shit out of absolutely everything. And the Russians attempted to do that in Ukraine. They were just shit at it. Simple as. They were bad at it. They had a good plan, but they weren't capable of actually carrying out that plan. Right. Okay, I do have another thing. Let me just... This is probably going to cause some controversy. Rubberlegs, Ayn Rand was precise about some things, Natla shrugged. Now objectivism is not the best, but it's getting reflected more and more today. Oh yeah, objectivism does have its benefits. Norse Arch, play Vampire Bloodlines, Anti-Deathclaw fun. I will actually. I am planning to play Vampire the Masquerade Deathclaw. Soonish. Ben, former bully fighter, is terrified of horror movies. Kind of, a little bit. Belial, in donation for more dev, calls it makes dev hating Tard Chimp out. I also want to add dev to the calendar. All the donations can go to Dick Girl Deathclaw. Your choice. Dev already has donations on the calendar. There is already a Dev in a Bikini fund, which I will add your donation to. Joseph Smith. Russia has more nukes on paper, has the economy of Canada. Maintenance of nukes is expensive. No way in hell they all work. Don't want to test, though. Oh, yeah, no, they are not. There's probably a very small percentage of them which are still actually functional, like 10-20% probably. Pat Beans, is Lum Lum still under Starlight? Probably a good place so she can salivate over Starlight's hooves. Starlight. I believe she is, yes. Let me see. Starlight. Yep, no, she's still under Starlight Glimmer. She's still under Starlight Glimmer. And she should be kept there as well, so she can look up and lick them hooves. The Real Zartax. Er ikke gøy at kongefamilien vår har blitt et gigantisk klovnesirkus? Lurer på om jeg skal protestere stemmen på alliansen for å trygge folk. Mea. I like our royal house. They've been fairly good dudes, yeah. Well, they've screwed up a couple times here and there, but more or less they've been largely beneficial for Norway. I quite like our royal house. Actum Selaf. Ziena Sona, also an attractive Danish woman. I know. It's rare. And Boog, I'll forgive Schenk when he smacks Hassan. Full palm. Fair enough, yes. And Boog, 5654, no fire Lum Lum. But why not, though? Bad latency. Imagine this, Schenk wearing a MAGA hat before Dev. It would fit perfect on his big head too. It would. Oh, God, it would look beautiful. Dizwiz, don't know about Dev hating tards, but glad to see 2 Dev tards. Hexy, look at the chin size of those females. The Dark Wolf 25, I'm late, but no dev, so money instead of stick. Well, thank you. And so John, just Juicy Smollett's goffed off on a technicality. He did. So, let me provide a little bit of a black pill here as well. Just a tiny bit. Oh, Argray. Yeah, I read that one. Oh, and I do need to remember Zero Firewater as well. All those chats go to Ninuals. They had good reason for openly doing it, since we've seen them people are dependent on the government and or being literally retarded will vote blue no matter what. Also, banning kids from social media is a parenting problem. All this does is have digital ID, so you're the one step close to China, so that it can arrest you for mean tweets. Yes, it does. That is the big old problem, that it moves far too much power into the hands of le gouvernement, and I don't like that. I would like less gouvernement power, not more. So, I'm going to ask you to suffer for a little bit now, chat. You're going to be in pain, but that's not my problem. Here you go. Because there is, of course, a counter-argument to this right here, and we'll need some sound for this one. Not everything is going to work out overnight. We are winning. That does not mean we have won. There's no time to rest on one's laurels just yet. As here is one of the premier car brands in the world's idea of their new branding and their new marketing. Look at how brave and bold this is, chat. Wow.
Heresy is the question. Fire is the answer.
Wow. Wow. Now, I do want to say, by the way, I copy nothing. This is a man in a dress in 2024. If you think this is somehow original, oh boy, have I got news for you. A man in a dress in 2024 is probably the most derivative thing you can ever imagine. This is just fashion now, baby. This is just the current year. There's nothing original about this. There's nothing bon vivant about this. This is not revolutionary or edgy in the slightest. This is literally just Sunday, okay? Like, this is the most conformist shit you could put out, Jaguar. And for this, they are going to ruin a 90-year-old brand. Holy shit. But we then need to go to show you something a little bit different here, okay? So bear that in mind. This is an advertisement for cars, right? For Jaguar. Jaguar thinks this will make you purchase their automobiles. Yeah? Okay. Now, this one's long, but stick with me, okay? Don't click away. Watch all of it. You'll understand when you understand, okay? It's going to seem boring. It's going to seem formulaic. It's going to seem overproduced, but you will get it. All right, chat? You will get it. I promise you. So, let's just lean back and be togetherness for the next 4 minutes.
Hey.
Hey. You okay?
Yeah. Well...
Service guarantees citizenship.
Hey, Mom.
How are you guys? How you doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Something wrong?
No, but we've actually got something to tell you. Kate's pregnant.
Oh, Andy, you're joking.
You're gonna be a grandma.
Oh my God. That was me.
I'm scared, Mom.
Why are you scared?
About it all, you know? The nights, the responsibility, like, we're gonna need a bigger place.
Help with all that.
I know, bless you, you're so sweet. I've got this feeling that we're gonna have a daughter. Just as stubborn as her mum.
Oh, hopefully not. The family's loud.
Now that's a legacy she might have to live with.
Service guarantees citizenship.
She might be the reason we tied a knot.
What if I don't do good in class?
I just want to say and do the right
Heresy is
things,
the
you
question.
know?
Fire is the answer.
I want to see the world with her. I'll also be happy staying home, doing nothing, letting her be a kid.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Are you awake?
Number 32.
Thank you.
I want to see her fall in love. But I also know what that means. And I know she's gonna bend the rules just like I did. And one day, I'll have to let her go. I'm excited to hear what she learns about the world, herself. What she adores, what she hates. I hope she likes the name you give her.
Have you thought of any?
It all depends. We like Leia.
Service guarantees citizenship. Service guarantees citizenship. Heresy is the question. Fire is the answer.
See? Which one do you think will sell the most cars, chat? This? Or that? Which one do you think is going to sell the most cars? Now, okay. The Volvo one it's overproduced. It's massively overproduced. It's female drivers not looking ahead at the empty street as some other woman waffles out into the street. Not looking left, not looking right. Like, I'm gonna be hit today. But the part of the build-up is to get you annoyed at the commercial. Be like, oh, God, it's a car commercial. What are you even on about? And they're like, oh. Right, all of that wouldn't have happened unless the car braked. Wow. Yeah, I don't trust my wife behind the wheel either. Shit, I need a Volvo. Or I'm
Heresy
gonna
is
get
the
sued.
question. Fire is the answer.
And it is a family-oriented commercial. This is a vastly superior ad to this. Like, holy shit. It is a slaughter. Like, Jaguar is crying right now. It's having a bad day. Jaguar is having a bad day. Like, that's not good. They come out with this. Man in a dress with a sledgehammer, breaking the mold. And then Jaguar go, hey, would you like to have a normal life with, like, a wife and a kid and shit and experience all of that? Or would you like to break the mold with Mr. Buccello here, whatever the fuck this guy is? Yeah. The first companies that begin to understand the demographic shift like this are going to have a lot of success and a lot of power. And let's see. There was another one. There was another one that happened the other day. If I can find it. There we go. Okay, so this popped up on Twitter as well the other day. So there was a short, a Disney holiday short. The Boy and the Octopus is now streaming on Disney+. And it's a very basic bit story about a kid finding a dumb animal and being like, wow, you're a dumb animal. I want to live with you forever. Basic bitch shit. But it's wholesome. It's nice. The octopus isn't gay. The octopus isn't transgender. The kid doesn't change his gender. He doesn't grow up to drive a Jaguar or wear a dress. None of that shit happens. It's just a simple, wholesome, short, feel-good story. That is all it is, and that is all it ever needs or has to be. That's it. All these companies need to do to start raking in the dollar again is be normal. That is the crux, the main core argument of this video. Just be fucking normal. Just be normal. Just everyone be normal, and we can return to our happy days. Nice and simple. There's no need for anything drastic to happen. No need for anything crazy over the top. If everyone just agree to return to normalcy, we may all be happy yet again. Sky for the Strange. Keep the dev, be a good friend, let him talk so Ace can make more videos. So on the last minute for 22 months, the thing in the orange dress. Glad to see the Diablo remaster Amazon found the new gig. Contra Dim, Elon Musk on Jaguar. Do you sell cars? Do they? Are we sure? I'm not sure. Well, Zartax, copy nothing, tries to copy woman. Hashtag Maya. Copy nothing, except gender stereotypes. Do try to copy that. Fail, but try. Anyways, make an effort to be a woman. River Norse, contrast the new Jaguar ad with the old one with famous British actors like Ben Kingsley, Tom Hiddleston, and Mark Strong on how to be a good villain. Let's
Service
see.
guarantees citizenship.
Jaguar, Mark Strong. Let's see. Okay. I think this is the one. Let me just pass through it real quick to make sure there are no giant cocks or titties flashing on screen. No, I don't see any penises, so we're probably good. Stop that, YouTube. Right, so this is another Jaguar ad. Have a look at it.
Have you ever noticed how in Hollywood movies all the villains are played by Brits?
Maybe we just sound right.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mary.
We're more focused. More precise.
We're always one step ahead.
With a certain style, an eye for detail.
And then that was the end of that. I don't think that was the whole commercial, but close enough for general government work. And yes, that is a much better commercial for a car than, hey, this is a woman. Probably, maybe. You can't probably tell. And that's the point, in a dress. Yeah, again, I feel like I can have a rough guess at who's probably selling the most cars. Mark Strong or Marthany Stronger. Scarf to Strange, you can't out avant-garde current day. You cannot. There is nothing. No, okay. Let me show you. Let me. What was that fucking thing? What was that? Wicked. Let me show you what passes for fashion in the current world. Right, okay, we got a couple of examples here. All right, so for the premiere of the movie Wicked, which I have heard nothing but bad things about so far, you have classic traditional, simply just a female in a dress, a little bit of cleavage, some color matching, a little matching purse there, matching shoes, orthodox, simple, clean, elegant. Will never fall out of style. Then you've got something a bit more, I don't know about this, by the donut licker in chief, Ariana Grande, the woman most famous by now for having licked a pastry in a pastry shop and then simply put it back while smiling and giggling to herself. The pants don't help. The skirt don't help. None of this really benefits her very well. And then, just because every group of women needs the ugly one to make the other one stand out more, right? Then we've got the piece de résistance. Behold, chat. Fashion. The highest level of beauty now imaginable. Clothes truly designed to make the person just glow, Damn, look at that. Control your peepees, chat. I know, you rarely have seen something quite so spectacular. But try to control your baser urges. I love that getup. I love that getup. I love everything about that getup. From the, I presume, hair and or hat, I'm not entirely sure, to the muscled arms, like, gloves, the 5-inch nails, like the fucking xenomorph nails there. Look at those things. Actual unironic weapons to the whatever the fuck this is. Like, I put solar panels on the inside of my dress to, I don't know, power the floof? Does it undulate in the wind? And then the shoes. Finally, the shoes. Like, okay, I could just use, simple, platform boots or something. No. Mine are gonna be triangular. Fashion chat. Again, there's no there is no crazier than this. You cannot out cray the left. There is simply no way. It ain't possible. You ain't out madding these people. No matter how absurd you make your commercial, it will be bland and boring by progressivist standards the day after. Hell, yesterday. Renorse, this at last, so 60 sec to anti-Deathclaw Fund. Okay, people are beginning to come together for the anti-Deathclaw Fund. This is good. This is good. We need more for the anti-Deathclaw. Hannes Jodit, who is John Galt? I have no idea. Who is John Galt? I have no idea now. He seems to have written something. Maybe I'll need to look into that later. Weird. I see woke like disco in that it won't die quickly. I don't know. If it goes to the point of disco where it's merely just a poor shadow of itself, I'd be, relatively happy about that too. Sentinel Rex, not gonna lie, that pregnancy commercial was gayer than the actual gay one. Way to make fatherhood look soy. Oh, come on. He's just worried about it. It's okay. See, after Strange, these are aspiring movie and music video directors who end up making car commercials. Actually, the guy who made the Jaguar, not Jaguar one, the Volvo one, I think he was the one who made Interstellar. Jackson Kai, safe not that even a woman can drive. It's a surprise in 2024, but a welcome one. It is. Axiom Seraph, Arch, if buying a wife, how many camels is too many? 12. Never pay more than 12 camels for a wife. Boog, camel is already plenty, wife. Why trade? Well, because the camel looks like this. That's why. The camel looks like what's on screen right now. That's the camel. Belial, no setting age limit on the internet is stupid because it means we need to give randos on the internet our ID, and that will actually kill the internet. Also add to the dev in a bathing suit fund. God, let's not hope this one gets too much steam, shall we? It's up to $40 now, so, if you want to see Dev in a bathing suit, keep donating. Scarf the Strange. Imagine people, in an effort to be remembered, they become forgettable. Oh, yeah, again, being dressed like this is not standout anymore. It's like, ugh, another one of those. Extra Onions, does Lumi know that feet are the real leg ends? She does. She thinks of very few things but feet. Scarf the Strange, remember the Super Bowl ad? It's only missing a certain Norwegian saying stick. And Lumi, the feet worshipper herself, that bronze thing looks like a ball sack. Does it? Does it? That looks like an awfully inflamed ball sack in that case. They shouldn't be that size, Lum Lum. God damn it. Did we learn something about Lumi today? Is this the size of Lumi's balls, chat? Whew. That's worrying. You should see a doctor. Scarf the Strange, I didn't know there's fashion AI. Hey, AI would make much better fashion than this. Much, much better fashion than this. Joseph Stalin, I like this new Thursday show. Keep it up. Well, we will be doing it with Sagaruni in the not-too-distant future. In fact, hold on.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Well, I'm just gonna do a quick experiment here. There we go. Grok, draw me a woman in something fashionable. God damn it. Why will you not? There we go. Right, chat. Which one do you prefer? Which fashion style do you prefer? Wicked? Or what Grok considers to be a fashionable
Heresy's the
outfit?
question. Fire
Vote
is
now
the
to win
answer.
absolutely nothing. I don't know, I'm leaning towards the blonde myself, but I understand there are those in the chat who were simply blown away by the beauty of Wicked, of course. Harrison Jodit, review when for Jonathan Young's brand new 140k heavy metal song, Imperium of Man. Really now? He's done a 40k thing, has he? Has he now? Has he now? Has he now?
Heresy's the question. Fire
That
is
was
the
loud.
answer.
I know that was loud because I could hear it from my speakerphones over there. Sorry, chat. Well, I've found it. I need to check that out. I gotta check that out. That might be. See, that's what we're going to probably start just doing on the Sargon and ArchCasts, name pending. We're just gonna watch like interesting little videos. So if you want to send us interesting little videos, we are going to watch and react to those interesting little videos, like the 2-bit YouTubers that we both are now. Chat complains about it's not enough volume, and then I need more volume. Silly chat. Jared Lottier, have you tried the Rogue Trader DLC yet? Only partially. And Belial, Arch, just be normal progs. Does their best impression of the autistic kid from Babadook. Yes. We gotta enforce the standard of normalcy. The tyranny of normalcy must be enforced upon our lessers. It's going to be a long, hard road, but we will get there together. We will get there together, chat. And finally,
1 in 5 adults.
I gotta shiv you one more thing too. So,
Service guarantees citizenship.
it's not just the gaming media or the people at large or the political parties that are realizing that this shift is happening. We've also got MSNBC panicking because they're losing their grasp over propaganda. So let's give that a look.
1 in 5 adults regularly get their news from influencers on social media.
I love the way she says that. Influencers on social media. Ugh.
The number is even higher among younger Americans, with
That too. Even higher amongst younger Americans. I love her pausing. I adore her pausing.
almost 40% under the age of 30 getting their news from those sources. According to the Pew Research Center, the social media site X remains the most widely accessed platform.
Hell yeah! X. Twitter is reigning supreme. That's why their advertisers are crawling back to it on their hands and knees.
Followed by Instagram and YouTube.
I mean, that comes obviously for political news. And Mike, that's the challenge. You grew up in a newsroom like Gene grew up in a newsroom. I mean, that's a lot of challenge. That's a challenge for a lot of mainstream media sources.
Heresy's the question.
Do they make
Fire
themselves
is the
relevant
answer.
again to hear 20?
How does the mainstream media make itself relevant again? Oof. Don't you just love to hear it? Here you've got a panel full of old elites, probably cashing a paycheck of a couple $1 million just for sitting here on television. And they're like, God damn it, we've finally got to face reality. We're irrelevant.
Heresy's the question.
Yes.
Fire is the answer.
Yes. And I'm glad you're noticing.
20% of adults who actually get influencers on social media.
I don't know how
Maybe some.
Influencers.
Somebody who makes
Service
baskets, and while they're
guarantees
making
citizenship.
baskets, they look up and say, vote for candidate X.
I don't know how they make themselves, how we make ourselves relevant again, because
Old man, how do we make ourselves relevant again? I have no idea, Tim. I think we're fucked.
we can't compete with 20-second snippets on an iPhone, walking up the street,
Morsels.
getting your entire news digest of the day in less than a minute on your phone as you're walking under the crowd with coffee in one hand and your phone in the other. I don't know how we catch up to that.
Yeah, so Gene Robinson, do you agree with Mike? Because I find this hard to believe. That younger voters would be more interested in getting an entertaining 20-second news snippet than watching a cable news show for 4 hours from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning. I mean, come on. This seems like an easy choice to us here.
And here's the thing, too. Okay. His position here is, of course, like, oh, we're just doing it wrong. It's too long. Those stupid young people don't understand the wisdom and the gravitas that we present to them. They're just dumb little basket weavers. Oh, God, that sounds... Oh, boy, that's a racial slur if I've ever heard one. Not me, YouTube, it's CNN. Basket weavers. Anyways... That's not the problem. That is not the issue. There are so many political YouTubers that put out, like, hours-long pontificating diatribes. Like, I myself, like, made a video discussing satire in 40K for 40 minutes. Right? It isn't all just 20-second news snippets from the basket-weaving populace. It is that your information is bad. It is that information is poorly constructed. It does not accurately reflect the worldview of the people watching. People are more than happy to sit down and listen to your ass for 4 hours if you can make a compelling argument for what you're actually presenting. However, when you can't, when it's simply a bunch of old people going like, I don't know, Timothy, why aren't we relevant? Tim, I couldn't fucking tell you. It's those goddamn basket weavers, I tell you. Onwards to you, Franklin. Yeah, no, that doesn't... That don't work. That don't work that well.
What is wrong with these people? Exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, if I knew the answer, I would implement it immediately, right? And reverse this. But we have to compete. I mean, the answer is we don't know how to compete with these social media basket making influencers or whatever. But
goddamn basket weavers.
And so we've got to figure out ways to do it. And maybe we make our own 20-second snippets, and we meet viewers where they are. We meet news consumers where they are because they're not here.
And there's the thing, too, because this, too, is, of course, not actually correct. MSNBC is already where viewers are. They're already making 20-second snippets, I goddamn guarantee you. The news media like CNN and Fox News have already been giving preferential treatment on the social media sites like YouTube. They have been given exemption from the rules. They were allowed to talk about COVID, for example, when nobody else was. When somebody else mentioned the word COVID, you'd instantly get a little label beneath your video in best case scenario, and in the worst, you would simply just be yeeted off the air straight up. It isn't that you're not there. It's not that you can't reach these people.
Service
You have been given
guarantees
preferential access to them. You have these people, but you lose them every time you speak. That's the problem. When you present them with poor arguments, when you present them with fake news, when you go, Kamala Harris will sweep the nation, they're going to tune out. That's what's happening. You're not failing because you're being outcompeted in market share by the basket weavers. You're losing because you're worse than the basket weavers. You produce inferior baskets. You own 80% of the basket weaving market, but your baskets are shit. God damn it. The basket weaver thing is going to be a full slur in my chat for the next few weeks, isn't it? Hello, Dev. I see you there. God damn it. And the very fact that the media still doesn't understand this is, of course, a good thing for us. If they simply keep thinking, okay, we're just gonna do what we're doing, but in 20-second snippets, great, fantastic. Degrade yourself to becoming TikTok influencers. I would prefer it, frankly. If we can simply just relegate MSNBC and everyone like them to simply being, well, the basket weavers of TikTok, then great. Awesome. Make the basket weaving show. Have this dude right here. I think he would make a pretty excellent basket weaver. Have him on a live stream camera weaving his basket whilst talking to us about whatever he wants to, okay? Do that. Everyone will look at it and go like, that's a funny old man, and then click off. Simple as. Like, here we go. Or this guy, which reminds me a little bit of Dev. I don't know why. I think it's the eyes. Yeah. In my mind's eye, I've always imagined Dev as slightly cross-eyed, even though he isn't, but in my mind's eye, I've always imagined Dev as little, I don't know, like one of those little guppy fishes with like the spreading eyes, like, brr. Like kind of that, yes. Kind of like that, yes, I like it. But it is a good development when even the mainstream media realizes, oh, hello, why don't you send me, Dev? Ah, that's terrible, Dev. Shame on you. I hate you. And this is why I'm mean to Dev whenever possible, because Dev is mean to Arch. Look at what he sends me. Look at what that little Italian sends me. Look at this, chat. Look at this. Little piece of shit. Little piece of shit indeed. That's a good screenshot, though. That's a good screenshot. That is a cursedly good screenshot. Excellent. Hey. Oh no, YouTube, don't do it. Don't Darnogue, anti-desk law. Also thought on Swiss versus German weapons. Which one is the superior? The Germans, of course, because they're wielded by Germans. And we need more Germans under arms to begin invading the Russians.
Service
Simple.
guarantees citizenship.
Although, I will say, after the Second World War, the Swiss have made drastic leaps in their weapons tech, which I am quite happy with. El Serrano, Dragon Age Origins, Arch, it's calling for you.
Service guarantees citizenship.
At some point. Eventually. Scarf the Strange. Hey, Jaguar, Ruby Rod called. He wants his everything back. Don't you dare. Don't you dare compare Jaguar to that excellent man. Don't you dare compare Jaguar to the best basket weaving entertainer, the YouTuber that we all dream to be, Rudy. Look at him. Look at this man. Look at this absolute fucking unit right here. The Ruby Rod Show. The YouTuber I wish I was. God. Perfection. Ruby was an excellent part of the Fifth Element. He really was. And the best part also, even whilst dressing like this, even whilst wearing a full-on actual 2024 dress, even then, he is still portrayed as like the peak womanizer of this entire fucking century. He bangs a stewardess within about 30 seconds of meeting her. He whispers 5 sentences into her ear, and she's like, Rudy, I've got an extra bed right here. I love Rudy Rod. He's fucking amazing. Ruby Rod is the bestest man ever. Or the bestest ma'am, if you will. Oh, that was a good movie. That was a damn good movie. It was a damn good movie. And Elsa Serrana for, holy shit, 400 Canadian. Thank you very much, Jesus. Hi Arch, the time has come. Kinkymation is less than 30 Pokemoons away from finishing the Johto deck. Has 404 Pokemoons to do Smash or Pass and read the description and read the trainer tips. It's time for the degeneracy to return. The trainer tips. One description box will suffice. Jesus Christ. Takes me like 7 hours to get through that, but okay. Inform me when it's done, and we'll do the next Pokemon Smash or Pass. Jesus. Terrible. Terrible stuff. Rudy Rod. The best man on the planet. Why is there not a more... Actually, to be fair, that character had a lot of really good... That movie had a lot of really good characters. You can hear his voice right now in your head, can't you? That slight, like mouthy sound that he makes. Comes with rocket launchers, miniguns, flamethrower, and a net launcher. That was a cool gun. Kind of want to rip that gun off. Kind of want to rip off the Fifth Element gun. I kind of want to rip it off. Because it's a really cool idea, isn't it? It's not very practical, it's huge, it probably weighs an actual illegitimate fucking ton, and I imagine the ammo capacity, even assuming rimless rounds, would not be very great, but I still love that gun. Still a cool looking gun. Look at that beastie boy. Oh. It's just the right mix of plastic toy and kind of sci-fi cool, you know? Pretty awesome. Pretty beautiful. Pretty stunning and brave, one might even say, if one should choose to do so. What did I scroll to now, then? Kick rat. 1 hurdle left for Sargon Bot shows Sargon's boomerism. I can't see it. 1 hour delay is caused Machino no worky. It might happen. It might happen. Going through dim. Sargon ArchCast is better than Little Red Bridge. I keep telling you, Dev can't be saved. Arch, stop trying. Tag the Mage. This could have been an email. Young Gen H 8 old news. That's true. So on the ledge, El Comunismo is roaming the chat, coping and seething that Globo Homo candidate didn't win, calling people names. Dev goes moo. He does on occasion go moo. Belial, I'm voting $5 for the Sargon and Arch podcast to be called the Tardcast. That's a terrible name. We'll probably name it something dumb in Latin, like the Lotus Eaters. Like, what would be equally pretentious to the Lotus Eaters? The Spectrum? The Speculum. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, no. I don't know. That could work. The Speculum. Oh. The Spectuli. No. Bit too bad. John Smith, you and Sargon play Tabletop Simulator together. We have been playing Tabletop Simulator together. We've been testing our upcoming tabletop game. Don't you know we've got a tabletop game coming? Oh yeah, we've got a full-scale tabletop war game in the works, everybody. Did you not know? Were you not aware of this? It's actually pretty close to being in a releasable state, actually. We're probably going to be launching a Kickstarter for it next year to get all of the final bells and whistles in place.
Fire is
then
the answer.
You're going to have an Arch and Sargon war game, and it's going to be fucking glorious. Our rule system is great. It plays nothing like 40k in the slightest. Far more strategic, way more tactical. We've got superior units. We've got better storylines. We're just better in every single solitary way. Our art is better. Our storytelling is better. Our rules, it's vastly superior. And not to mention, Sargaruni and Arch are better than anyone who ever worked at Games Workshop, including the original founders. I want to point that out. Subifloof, Dev in a Bikini Fund. Okay. More to the Dev in the Bikini Fund. God. Dev in the Bikini has almost caught up to Miranda Lawson. I don't know how I feel about that. Lord Comus Spartan. Also, are they referring to the old 4chan meme of the Mongolian underwater basket raving forum? Jesus. More Deathclaw. God. Why? Like, I don't know why the Deathclaw is so popular. I don't understand. Anonymous Fowl. Arch, I got Dev to change his mind on funneling Ukrainians into the meat grinder. He now accepts they should end the war and seek peace. Well, good job, little Bucky Bussy. You have saved the lives of many people. Possibly. It's conceivable. Black Knight, remember, the Swiss nearly started World War III with the Soviets. No Deathclaw. There you go. Much better. Less Deathclaw. Less Deathclaw, chat. We need more anti-Deathclaw. Hannah's Jodid, my ex gave Sargon $50 to read Atlas Shrugged 6 years ago. So when he's on here, demand he tells you who is John Galt or returns her money to you. $50 to read an entire book? Damn, he sold himself cheap back then, didn't he? God, Sargaroony fire sale. Sargaroony fucking fire sale, I'll tell you. That's awfully cheap for a Sargaroony these days. Alright. Here, let's see. Let me give you a tiny little piece, though. Just a tiny little piece of the tabletop setting, shall I? Just a tiny little one. Let's see. Oh, no, that's Lum Lum engaging in her favorite pastime. All right, well, that's not quite it, but, we all make mistakes when we can't properly label our pictures. If only there was some kind of preview system on the back end of Windows. Oh, well. It's always nice to have one of those ready, just in case. Just in case you need a...
Heresy's the question.
Need something to distract chat for a second whilst you're looking through stuff. Here we go. Yes. This one is always good.
Heresy's the
lovely
question.
image
Fire is the
of
answer.
a nice, beautiful alien civilization. Look at this, chat. Look at this. Doesn't this look pretty swell? Doesn't this look kind of awesome? You've got fanciful flying fish. You got cars. You got a civilized species of aliens. They build aqueducts. They've got beautiful waterfalls. They embrace aesthetics. They believe, in fact, that aesthetics in and of themselves have a metaphysical value, that nothing is worth pursuing unless it is aesthetically pleasing. That is the aliens, who are, by the way, massive slavers and build their entire civilization on the back of forced labor. And then that very self-same civilization, when humanity come to liberate the slaves. Congratulations, citizens of this world. You have been liberated. You are free now. We have saved you with our superior firepower. Humanity have come to rescue you from your oppressors. Why aren't you cheering? Why are you not cheering? Lumi Angler, I sent you a thing. Katy Perry is trying to be smart. Also put this towards me on the calendar. Why? Katy Perry. Katy Perry. There we go. Katy Perry. Oh, that's a... Just watch Idiocracy, the movie. That's all. Yeah, Katy, that's commenting on you. Because, yeah... Idiocracy is a great fucking movie. It is a wonderful movie that everybody should watch, but it ain't taking the piss out of the Republicans. It is taking the piss out of quite literally you. This is the feels before reals universe. This is the universe where people decided to not really bother with studying stuff, not really pursuing reality or the truth. It was the rejection of all of it, where we simply became dumber, where we stopped dealing with our problems like uncontrollable mass immigrations or massive inflation, for example, and just decided to build taller scrap heaps, where we stopped to take care of our communities, where we simply made everything a nice, big, multicultural ghetto. Yeah. I'm not sure Idiocracy is delivering quite the argument you think it is. Just saying, Katy Perry. Just saying. It might not be. Elsie Sorana, wow, I'm so proud of myself for coming up with a calendar idea for how much it's taken off. I'm also annoyed that it's making you so much money instead of me.
Heresy's the question.
That's
Fire
right.
is the answer.
Indeed. And this is gonna be a yearly thing now. There's Lumi. God damn it. Okay, chat. We've got an emergency here. This puts Lumi $3 under Starlight Glimmer. We need to fortify Starlight Glimmer immediately, okay? Lumi wants to look up at 4 feet, 4 hooves. We gotta make sure it stays safe, chat. We need Starlight Glimmer. Stat. River Norse, call show Bread and Circus. Can't wait for Wargame. It's gonna be great. Oh, God. The key thing that we've done that we are so proud of is the fact that in our wargame, shooting the enemy is not always the correct option. Sometimes moving is more destructive to an enemy than shooting them. You can win games by maneuver. It's not like 40k where you're always charging, you're always shooting, the offense is always the correct option. No. A well-timed maneuver can be far more devastating than any amount of shooting. I have literally routed entire enemy flanks with a single move in that game. You gotta be careful. It's gotta be timed out just perfectly, and your opponent will have to make some mistake to set you up for it, because of course they have access to the exact same mechanics that you do, but it is possible, chat. That's the best part of it. Maneuvering is valid. Sky for the Strange, a Norse and an Anglo start a podcast. What are you going to call it? Stamford Bridge? You know?
Heresy's the question.
That's not bad,
Fire
actually.
is the answer.
That's not bad, actually. I'm considering that. Artemis Fowl, check messages. $2 to check messages. How many did you send? 2? Later. Gunnar Dim, Lumi. God damn it, Gaunter. Stop that.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the
Stop
answer.
that, Gaunter. Now she's above Starlight Glimmer. Now she can no longer see the hooves above her. Oh, wait, no. Applejack is still above her. Okay, so there's still hooves, but we need to double up. We need to have 4 sets of hooves above Lum Lum. In this narrative, Tonushi, Idiocracy had an extreme, masculine, and charismatic president who put the smartest man in the world in his cabinet pretty much immediately. Yes, because he's a Republican. Don't let anybody tell you differently. He's a Republican. He realizes, okay, we gotta get the smart people here. I'm gonna try to actually solve this problem, unlike my predecessors. Kiru, $5 for the second, third word worse pony, Starlight Glimmer.
Heresy's
there
the
we
question.
go.
Fire is the answer.
There we go. That was much needed. Much needed. Balance has been restored to the universe. And she's the best pony. What the hell's wrong with you? Father Jack the Enlightened, here to ensure Lum Lum keeps looking at those feet. There we are. Good, good. Cement those feet. Cement that position. Will there be joke rules as part of the Kickstarter? Old callbacks like breed cubes or combat sounding pencils? Nope. It's a very serious setting. It is a solid, well thought out, very complex and interesting setting. It is an excellent one that you will love. I am sure of it. Oh, and there's Boog. Wait, did Boog send me something valuable? No, he didn't. I don't think so. What do you want, Barky Bussy? Breaking. The operational commander of the Polish Armed Force announced that statement Thursday the activation of all available forces and resources, including fighter aircraft, air defense system, ground defense system, and radar reconnaissance system, which were placed. The Poles are going to spend some money. So what? If Poland wishes to bankrupt itself, that's Poland's business, not mine.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Ambulance spotted leaving Mar-a-Lago. Sounds alarmist, Buckybus. Sounds alarmist, Buckybus. Sky for the Strange, have you played Universe at War?
Service
Starlight.
guarantees citizenship.
Universe at War. No, I haven't. I wanted to when it was coming out, but then everyone gave it bad reviews and I didn't. That was the one that killed the strategy. Starlight, good, 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 good. Good, good Starlight. Best pony reigns supreme. Perfect. And out of Caliban, keep Starlight above the fish. Fantastic. There we go. Starlight Glimmer. You must be secure. Lum Lum loves those feet, loves those hooves. They've got those lickable inner rims to them, you know? She really enjoys that.
Heresy's the question.
She really enjoys that
Fire
part.
is the answer.
Marked a shame. No, Jairus. What did I say? What? Jairus of Auber Valley on Rumble. Already seeing the right want to strip non-Christians of their rights. Milo Yiannopoulos on Timcast said the U.S. Bill of Rights and Constitutions are only for Christians and no one else, for example. Yes. Again, just stay normal, you fucking retards. Milo Yiannopoulos should be no more welcome in decent circles than should Dev and his friends.
Fire is the answer.
Kidding. But Little Red Bridge should be eyed suspiciously for his friends. Also, I just want to point out again too, Idiocracy, look at the background. It is the most multiracial society you've ever seen. I'm pretty sure he was commenting on a couple of things there. So, Water, I am a libertarian since as an anime fan I'm used to the right and left attacking and censoring my hobby. The right also shouldn't be trusted because like Trish, they will use the knife. Ninua. And also, thank you for playing Goodbye Volcano High. Dev's new name is Trish. He's the purple woman who has the knife at the critical moment. I would imagine so. We should be careful around purple people. They are dangerous. Very dangerous. Should not be trusted. Cryer Maton on Streamlabs wanted to do my own sci-fi thing, got any recommendations on literature, on military units, division, modern and historical, like the Rangers, SEALs, etc. The way we built ours was beginning with the philosophy of the nations in questions. Like, what does this nation believe? And then everything stems from there. You know, you can build up their economy, their military, their religion based on their belief system, their philosophies, their metaphysics, in essence. That's where I always want to begin with this. So first, you need to have a solid understanding of what they think. Then you can add on from there. And obviously, general knowledge about military will be useful, especially if you're doing something sci-fi, but you also then determine your own rules. For example, in a universe that has lasers, air combat is going to look completely different than in a universe that doesn't. So that would be my advice. Start with the basics. Festive, it was announced that ambulance are part of Vance's motorcade. False alarm. Sorry, Artemis. Bucky Bussy. Alarmist Bucky Bussy. Jackson Kai, 10 to Lum Lum and 10 to Starlight Glimmer. I embrace chaos. Move the entire bracket up. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. There we go. That puts Lumi above Applejack, though. Now there's only 4 pair of hooves above her instead of 8. I don't know. Lummi might be sad that she can no longer stare up at Applejack's feet. So, Jar, Trump has a massive job ahead of himself as an excessive amount of work cut out for him. Do you think he can do it? What do you think about Matt Gaetz? I saw something about him stepping down, wasn't it? Was it? Yes, withdraws from consideration as Donald Trump's Attorney General. I haven't really been paying attention to this, so I can't really comment, but he'd apparently done something pretty damn shady.
Service guarantees citizenship.
I think. I'm not going to speak too loud because all I know is that everybody's mad at him right now, but yeah, sadly I don't have too much in the form of elucidations on that matter because I just don't know. Do I think he can do it? I hope so. I think he might be able to, because I hope he learned his lessons from the last time around. I really, really pray and hope that after being backstabbed repeatedly by everyone around him, he knows now to pick people for loyalty first. Get the job done. Drain the swamp and get out. You got 4 years, do it. You don't need to worry about re-election. Bring in the tariffs, crush down on China, bring back manufacturing into the US, do the hard choices, because they will be hard choices. Break the fuck up out of Google. Do the hard things now, Donald. Become the martyr that the United States requires. Then, once you have adequately fixed things, you can retire. Everyone's gonna re-at you for 8 to 10 years, and then 15 to 20 years later, they're going to be building statues of your ass. Argray, for 20 Polish something or others. For Lumi, death to bronies. Don't know about that. River Norse, som svenska så måste jag tillbaka min idé om bredd and circus och ställa mitt yxa bakom Stanford Bridge som namn på showen. Det sjunga i blodet. Swedes are weird. I used to be able to speak proper Swedish. It's been a very long time. I still remember some of their dumb words. Like, what was the name for strawberry? It was something retarded. No, I'm hurting my brain just thinking about it. Dave Osmark, Britta Tinger, name for Archie plus Sargon cast, Britta Tinger. Holmgang? Yeah, Holmgang. I don't know. Can Americans even pronounce Holmgang? Holmgang. See, okay. We Norwegians had a lovely ritual where when you had disagreements, you would engage in something called holmgang. Holmgang was the tradition of walking out onto a rock in the fjord, which we call holm. And on that rock in the fjord, the two individuals would fight. I'm trying to find a properly illustrative picture, but nothing really pops to mind. Now, it didn't have to be in the fjord, etc., of course, but it was supposed to be in a very small area. Like, there were some regulations on how large it could be. That was why they used the holm, because the holm is like a tiny little rock in the water. I can't find a proper picture of it now, which upsets me greatly.
Fire is the answer.
But that was how we fixed disagreements. We fought each other with swords. Because that's how you deal with disagreements properly, with swords. And there were also local rules, like it was usually not to the death, for example, because it was settled disagreements. And if you killed somebody, then you had a blodgeld to the other part, which was not good. Blood debts, which then needed to be repaid. You know, you kill one of my family, I kill one of your family, that kind of stuff. And then that family, of course, was like, you kill one of my family, now I'm going to kill one of your family. And so it continued. Unfortunate. But we need to legalize dueling. We need to legalize dueling again. That's what we need to do. Legalize dueling. Here we go. God damn it, you piece of... Okay, I'm gonna get that regardless. Screw you. I'm getting that picture. I don't care if it's not available anymore on internet. It's a wonderful picture. There we go. Right, that one. So this is from the 1908 Olympics, where pistol dueling was an actual Olympic sport. All right? Now, they used protective gear, of course, so faceplate, protective gear, protective overcoat, etc. And the pistol didn't fire a bullet, it fired a wax bullet. So basically a crude paintball, in essence. There you go. There you go, right there. Legalize dueling again. And we should definitely add in some swords too. Like, we can make this safe, it's not a problem. It'd be an excellent way to bring back a more polite society. Because now, if you insult some motherfucker, there's a decent chance that he'll pull a glove out of his pocket and smack you across the face with it and go, I demand satisfaction, sir. God, we need to legalize dueling. It is the only way back for us into the ranks of civilized society. It's no longer a choice. It's something we simply must do. Simple as. Much ashamed. Think of a system of factions instead of having one. Choose one of 3 types: government, structure, religion, ethnicity, race. All the formations belong to one of those. If you picked it, you can play it. Let's say you picked a monarch, Batholic Korks. Then any monarch unit or Batholic unit or Quark unit you can pick. Some formations could belong to others, like democratic Batholics. Oh, for a unit roster. Yeah, that can work. Absolutely. Tie it up to some sort of element in the factions. We do that too with a couple of the things we do. Harpy, here is $10 for Lum Lum. I want to make her cry. God, such meanness. Renaults Jordgubba heter. That was it, yes. Because that means earth old people in Norwegian. Inte jordbär. Och ni norrman ska inte snacka, kallar det skarbröd för fjöl. Well, yes. We call it a cutting board too. Och Ludjar för gaupe. Yeah. Gaupe. Bobcat. Gaupe. What the fuck? Lodjur? Doesn't that just mean like fuzzy animal or something? Because lod is a Norwegian word for fuzzy. Sophiras for £150. Jesus, thank you very much, sir. How low is Trixie? Can't have Starlight without her wife. Trixie, sadly, is... Let's see. Trixie was very far down, unfortunately. Let me see how far up that brings her, though. Let's see. British pounds. Okay. There you go. The great and powerful Trixie. Let's see. That puts her just shy of the calendar. The lowest entry point on the calendar currently is Ariel from My Little Mermaid at 235. That donation puts the great and powerful Trixie at 208. So you'd have to unseat Ariel from My Little Mermaid to get Trixie on the calendar. The great and powerful Trixie. Second best pony. No, second best pony is Rarity. Third best pony, then. There we go. The great and powerful Trixie. Trixie also had her own anti-villainy arc, which was good. See, that's the thing I actually do enjoy about these characters, because it provides a path to redemption that isn't simply either instantaneous, as in, oh, you're redeemed now, you're one of the good guys, or, well, you're gonna have to die. Instead, they have to actually work for their redemption. They have to learn what they did wrong and fix those problems within themselves and how other people view them. I like that. I like that tremendously. It's a very nice thing that a lot of current year entertainment could learn a lot from, incidentally. Right. Have we covered everything we need now? I think so. I believe we have covered most of the things I wanted to cover. In short, the dam has broken. The rightward swing has now gone into full effect. It is full force ahead for the right. And that's good, in that it is our side winning. It is our side now in ascendancy, and we will be able to return a degree of normalcy to the world, which is what we all want and desire. But that also does mean that we are going to have a conversation about the people in the red hats that thinks having sex with a condom is homosexual. We do need to be on the lookout for that, even as we make damn sure that the left doesn't sneak up behind us again, bearing in mind that it is still in possession of the levers of institutional power. It still has academia. It still has government in essence. It still has the corporations for quite some time yet, as demonstrated by Jaguar, which I was trying to find here, but I think I closed it ages ago. I probably have. This is still reality, and we're going to have to work quite some time before this becomes reality again, too. So don't give up the fight just yet. Just know, at least, that everything is getting better. The great and powerful Trixie has here to save you, chat. She is your protector. Let's see. Is there anybody to raid into at this point? Let's see.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Yes, maybe.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Right. Oh, Rasmus, O2. Oh, goddammit, YouTube, don't... Oh, I hate you. I hate you, YouTube. I hate you. I hate you. I hate... There we go. Rasmus, O211, only doing this once. Keep fish under hoof. Keep... Are you sure you're only doing that once? You never know. You never know. You might need to fortify that later. You could also put it on the Fluttershy too. And River North, yes, because it's a board you can cut on an animal with fuzzy ears. Makes sense. I don't know about that. And Pat Beans, the great and powerful, though Luna is best pony, followed by Twilight. Alright, there you go. The great and powerful Trixie.
Heresy's the question.
The great and powerful, though Luna is best pony, followed by Twilight. Again, right? That puts her on the calendar. There you go. The great and powerful Trixie is on the calendar. Now, I tried to get prehensile penis Luna on the calendar in a barbarian costume, but nobody seemed interested, which I don't know why. And why you hate Arch? How do your races go FTL in your universe? A little bit of warp, a little bit of Star Wars, and a little bit of Star Trek. I've borrowed a little bit from each, but suffice to say it has to do with the ignoring of the physical laws of reality, which is why you can go faster than light speed in it. But I'm not gonna spoil too much. Not yet, at least. Not yet, at least. Now, I was back to... There we go. Blah. Redirect. There we go, chat. We can go scare the shit out of someone now. Yes, yes. Go, my chat. Scare the living shit out of a poor little VTuber again. We like that. We like doing that here. We like frightening them. And I'll see you all again. I don't know about tomorrow. I think I need to do lore video tomorrow. But the day after, we've got the ArchCast where Rima will be returning. Everyone's favorite horse girl, Rima. Everyone loves the horses. Good night, chat, and I'll see you all again very soon. Have a good night.